on this lovely Monday afternoon, ready to talk about Facebook groups. So before I share my screen, I've got some questions. Number one question is, who has a Facebook group? Petra does, Sherry does, Charmaine does, Sue does. That's fantastic. And who is enjoying hanging out in their Facebook group? And Jane, cool. I'm seeing some not so much. Well, who would like to do their Facebook group better? Yes. So if you says Jane, tell me in the chat or unmute yourself what your Facebook group's purpose is all about. Go, Jane, whenever you're ready.
I'll share mine.
Yeah, great. Go, Sherry.
Okay, so mine's a client. It's for my clients that I work with, but I don't know if they even see them. I mean, I'm just kind of learning how to find out where to see the posts in the groups that I have signed up for. And so I have one that's always liking, a couple clients, but I don't think a lot of them have ever even seen how to see the posts from the groups that they've liked.
Right. And Leanne, who has just joined us in here, she has a couple of Facebook groups and was then trying to find how she could merge them and just get it going. So because having a lot of Facebook groups is really, really hard to manage. So just having one is definitely, Terry, who's just joining us as well, she has 2 groups. So it was a case of definitely trying to find a way to, I'm just talking about you, Terry, and your 2 Facebook groups and just aiming to have one. But the top tip I told Terry today is, unfortunately, you cannot merge your groups. You know how with a Facebook page, you do all of that. Well, you can try anyway. So that's a bit of a bummer that you can't. Petra says for her, she's having a presence and building a community. Top marks for Petra. Sue says, I'm just posting photos and questions. I've had a few responses and a few people have started to invite others. Cool. And Jackie says no group yet, but Jackie, you've got a lot of options with yours because it's, all about people that would want to be learning. Oh, would that be to do with your art, Jackie, and being an artist, your group? Because I'm thinking that if it is, then it's not only people that are fans of your work, but it also might be people that are also wanting to be better at art or just love to collect art, etc., etc. Oh, she can't hear me. I'm not sure why. I'm just going to write here, who is in your group, Jackie? Jane, tell us about your group.
So my group is connected to my Facebook page. So it's got the same name, but it's very small. And I don't know how Facebook sends them to me, but I've got some Americans but obviously I'd like to have more people in the group, and I've been asking lots of questions and sharing a lot of articles, but not a lot of it is my own stuff yet. I'm trying to build some content.
Cool.
So I'm trying to make it interesting and not be too repetitive.
Yeah, that's great. So giving value in a group is the main thing, like giving people a reason for why they want to be in the group. Now, a lot of people think that it's really important when you first start a group to have it as open so that it's an easier way for people to find it and invite people in. And then once you've got, some people in there, then you'd turn it to private. For me personally, I've always had all of my groups as private because I want them to know that when they're in there, it's a safe space. They can ask any question, no matter how dumb they think that question might be, because, a lot of people feel nervous about asking. So giving them that safety to be able to do that, to me, is really important. And also, I'm a big believer in it's not about the numbers, that if you only had 50 people in your group or 20 people in your group, that's better than having 2,000 people in your group that aren't even interested in what you're doing or what you've got going on. And more to the point, you don't want people in there that aren't going to be engaging with you, because that's not very good for the algorithm and where Facebook sees your group. in terms of importance, etc. So definitely think about who you're letting in your group and what your privacy settings are and things. Charmaine says her group's about educating about Pilates, posture and stretching. Now tell me, Charmaine, is that something that you only allow your clients into, or are you allowing anyone that wants to know more about Pilates and stretching?
Kylie, I have absolutely no idea. I set my Facebook page up when we, the last time we spoke about Facebook groups, but I'll be honest, I've set it up and I've got no idea what more to do with it. Like, I haven't put units in it. I've labeled them and said, this is what I want to do. But I'm unsure, for example, like the group, my Facebook page, what I share there, and then what I share in the group page. So it is, it would be private because it'll come off my Facebook page. I'll lead them into the group page.
Group, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you a little example with the Hello Media Facebook group. So the Hello Media Facebook page is where we post things almost daily. It's a place that you can go and find things out about, you know, what's happening, what's coming up, etc., etc. But there's not a beautiful community going on a page. It's open to the public. You know, if you see it, that's a bonus, because let's remember, you know, unless you're paying for ads, it's really hard getting people to see your stuff. The group, on the other hand, is a completely different place. I love hanging out in my group. I ask questions in there, people engage, other people ask questions and get advice, not just from me, but from anyone who's around and, you know, can answer at the time. So it's a beautiful place to be opening, sharing about community, you know, not sharing about community, sharing in a community kind of an environment, which feels really, really lovely. So a really different feel to me with the two different places. Same with the meetup group that I run, the Positive Passionate Businesswomen. There's a page which anyone can follow and like and see what's going on. But with the group, that's where we can share a whole lot more openly, etc. And then with that one, I've even taken it a step further. And there's another Facebook group off that one that is just for the Huddle members of the group. So the ones that are paid as a financial member. And then that's where, when we're doing our Zoom sessions, our online Zoom, you know, what am I trying to say? Our online meetups, those recordings go in there. But that's really private. They're not open to anyone else to see. So yeah, there's different strategic ways of why I'm doing different groups where and all of that. And you know what time and effort you're putting them into. Jackie can hear now, which is great. So Jackie, I was just asking you about your group. If you had it for your business as you as an artist, or if it was for something else. I'm not sure if you're able to unmute or just let us know.
Hello.
Hey, Jackie, how you going?
Sorry, I had really trouble with the internet, and I was doing it on my iPad, and it was going terribly wrong. No, I'm doing it as an artist, but it's actually limited edition prints, starting off with my own, but then expanding for other artists. So the platforms
are wonderful.
The platforms are Prints Byron Bay. So I've started the website, but I've got to get all the other things happening.
Oh, the ducks lined up.
Yes,
right.
That's right.
So by you, then you've got a lot of different people that you can have in your group. So people that are interested in art, people that are, you know, collectors, people that want to know more about it, as well as artists as well, you know, of the people that you would be sharing or showing their work to. So yeah, lots of options for you. And then Sue says, mine's very much Mullumbimby and surrounds focused, but anyone is welcome to join. Nice. So you might find that, similar to the Byron Bay Community Board, for example, people that aren't even in the Shire, but that like to holiday here regularly, etc., that they'll join the group so that they can see what's going on and interesting things that are happening, etc. That said, you probably know the Byron Bay Community Board is a bit of a horror of a group, as opposed to the Bangalow Community Group is really lovely. It's much smaller and much easier to manage. And that's the thing about a giant group, is that they're just so difficult to manage. So how many years ago, maybe 13 years ago, I started my first Facebook group, and it was a personal one for when my husband broke his neck. And I found it really odd that, you know, it's not like my friends could, you know, resonate with anything that was going on with me. They were great to talk to, but they weren't having any of the same experiences that I was having. So I started a Facebook group, and very quickly it grew. And there were people from all over the world that were joining, that were either quadriplegics themselves or family members of quadriplegics. And so it was a wonderful place to be there and share information. And of course, you know, it had to be very, very private, because there's a lot of, you know, personal stuff being discussed in there. But what we found is that because of the different time zones, people would be posting things during the night or during my night, and I wasn't able to be checking if that was okay, you know, what they were writing. And there's some odd things that go on in the disability world with some odd people. And I don't mean the people with the disabilities are odd at all. What I mean is there's some unusual people that out there that come in and they want to do, you know, it just can get a little bit unusual. So we had to have it really strongly admin. So what I did was I got some admins from different parts of the world, all volunteers, of course, and that made everything so much better. So we had 2 that would do it during the night, for example, so, you know, that were in the States or in Europe, and another one in Australia, but that was on the other side of Australia. So it worked much better after that. But then it's really important that each admin has a really clear idea of what they actually need to do. Like, who is there going to be one that does the approving of the letting people in? Is there going to be one that checks the different posts that are coming out? You know, there's got to be all kinds of checks going on, particularly with groups where there's really sensitive information being shared. So with all of that said, I'm going to share my screen now and get into it. And I'll talk to you as we go along about all the different types of groups that I run and why they're so fabulous, etc. So make sure that you ask any questions that you have in the chat, and then we will get to it at the end. And also that I invite you to put all the ways that people can connect with you. So put in there your business name, your Facebook, your Instagram, put your group in if you have one that you'd like to invite people to join. And also tell us in 15 words or less what it is that you do or what it is that you offer. So the topic of today's digital marketing webinar is why your business needs a Facebook group. So if you invest your time now and grow your brand, there's never been a better time to tell the world what you do. Never before have there been so many people using social media, shopping online, all of the things that are going on out there with people now. There's so many people, more people working from home than ever before. There's so many more people just using the internet than ever before. So it's absolutely the best time for you to be growing your brand online. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Kylie and I build brands. I help entrepreneurs and businesses get visible online so that they can attract their customers to them instead of going out there to chase them. I'm all about simplifying your digital marketing, and digital marketing actually means anything to do with where people see your business online. So it's from your website to your social media channels to your email marketing and way more than that. I work with people through one-on-one and group coaching programs and teach masterclasses and workshops and all kinds of things. And I've got a little quote here that says, it's not should we work on our digital marketing, but rather how well are we working on our digital marketing? So yeah, so it's no longer a case of should we, it's a case of we have to be doing it. We've just got to do it really well. And we've got to do it so we're not feeling completely overwhelmed. So I am a speaker, coach, mentor, writer, designer, educator, presenter, content creator, branding specialist, which all comes under the topic of business coach specializing in digital marketing. And on the right-hand side, or in the middle here, you'll see Positive Passionate Women in Business. So I run a meetup group that's all about women connecting and supporting each other. And Merlin or Honey could just put in the chat there the links to that for anyone that we would love to welcome you in there. It's a very special place in that Facebook group where you're well and truly welcomed and cherished. The other thing is bite-sized conversations. That's another free offering that we have, which is Jenny Walk and I. Jenny's from Elephant in the Room Consulting. And every Friday morning for 30 minutes, we offer some sort of topic to do with not just digital marketing. So my Monday webinars are all topics, various topics on digital marketing. Our Friday topics are all about different things to do with business. And we welcome you to join us for that as well. So let's get stuck in to the, I keep moving my little chat thingy around. Okay, it's time to get creative. 1 year from today, you most certainly will arrive. But the question is, where are you going to arrive? If you do what you've always done, you'll stay where you've always been. So if you want to arrive somewhere new, it's time to try something new. And that is said by one of my favorite gurus, Mike Stelzner, who is the man in charge of running social media marketing world, where I've been to for the last 2 years in the States. And this year, of course, it's not going to be on. It's going to be online, which is a real shame. But hopefully next year we'll be off there. Anyway, super amazing guy. And I'm a member of his social media marketing society. So for all digital marketers, it's a great place to get support and information. So when I get stuck, I obviously can't just get on the phone and call Facebook. So then I'm part of one of these sort of groups, along with my gurus like Mari Smith, etc. So that's a really beautiful way to be able to support and help each other as we go along. So a little note in here says, if you want to earn more, you need to learn more. And if you want to have more, you have to become more. So if we have a little think about that it's all about the learning. So well done and congratulations for being here. I'm a big believer in endless and constant upskilling and learning, etc. In fact, I'm just off this Friday and Saturday for another 2-day masterclass that I'm attending. And so that the importance of constantly, particularly around your business and being online and the online presence and everything, because it is changing all the time. So keeping up with it is hard. Made easier if you come along to these webinars and just do whatever learning that you can, because there's people out there who will share willingly to help keep you updated. So my belief is it's time to start giving more, give more content, give more value, show people how valuable you really are, keep educating your audience. And the way that you can do that and share what it is that you offer is you can do Zoom calls with people. You can run online webinars. You can do Facebook and Instagram lives. Whatever it is, you can get out there and get a whole lot more visible, because you might have the biggest qualification in the world. You might be the cleverest of all people, what you do, or the most talented. But if people don't know you exist, then they're not going to pay the money that you would like to be earning, because they don't even know about you. So the more visible that you get, the more that you're able to grow yourself, your business, and your brand. So I'm putting out a little challenge for you this week. I want to see even more love this week online. So let's help each other out. So if you can, go away after today and comment more. Share more, get visible so that you can help more people. If you have a question about growing your business, comment in the chat or book a discovery call with me, and let's work together and come up with a solution. So as I said, my challenge is when you're on Facebook or when you're on Instagram, comment on more people's posts and let them know that you're liking their posts. Let them know that you're seeing them and you're actually valuing what they're putting out there. I'm just putting my turning my little fan up. Okay, so what to do? If you have a business, then you need a Facebook group. And if you haven't set up a Facebook group yet, then now is the time. And if you've already got a group, but it's not working, now is definitely the time to do something with it. Let's have a little think for a moment. And I'd love you to jump into the chat and let me know, how many Facebook groups are you in right now? Can you list which they are? I don't need you to list in the chat exactly which ones they are, but you know, how many of them that you're in are actually somewhere that you get a lot of value from? For me, honestly, it'd be around about 5, yet I'm probably in well over 100 groups, but there's 5 that I could definitely list off the top of my head. So if there are a few groups that you'll be able to think of straight away, like for some of you in here, I know that you're regularly interacting in Hello Media, you're regularly interacting in the Positive Passionate Businesswomen group, for example. There might be more. You might be regularly, if you've got a Shopify website, you might be in Shopify Businesses Australia website, Facebook group. You might be in one of those giant groups like I've just seen Marit say, like-minded bitches drinking wine. That's right. Now that's the sort of group that can be a really fabulous place to get information, but I personally don't post in there. If I'm looking for information, I'll just go into the search section and search the topic and see what they've got to say. Because generally it can be quite hard. It can be sort of full of a lot of chaos in there, and people can get a bit aggro. So I've personally found the smaller the group, the more intimate they are, the more likely you are to have good, friendly community chat going on rather than hardcore. There's also another one, Marit, that I'm in called Like-Minded Bitches Not Drinking Wine, and another one that says Like-Minded People Who Are Not Bitches drinking wine or something like that. Anyway, there's a few around that way, so it's quite funny. So those that offer value to you, in which you engage and build relationships with fellow members, are the ones that we really want to be members of. And that's the standard that all groups should aspire to uphold. Oh, very nice. That sounds interesting, Karen. And Mara, I see there is that local one. They also, when they first started that one, they were doing in-person meetups too, but I never went. They were always at a tricky time for me. So, oopsie. So a lot of people say, well, what's the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group? And I've already got a page, and what's going on? So what's the difference? So I've tried to sum it up here. It's quite wordy, but I'll just read it. And if you have got questions, just let me know in the chat. So I think of it like this, that your Facebook page is like the front yard of your house. People drive by, they see that you have a nice house, that you might be in a good neighborhood. People wouldn't drive by your front yard and see you in your swimsuit basking in the sun by your pool necessarily, because you're saving that sort of thing for the backyard. What you do in your front yard, though, if people are walking past, taking the dog for a walk, you might wave while you're out there mowing the lawns or gardening or something. But that's about it that would happen in the front yard. In the backyard, though, that's a whole nother thing. That's where you hang out with the people that you really want to be spending time with, but it's invitation only. It's a more intimate place and it involves camaraderie. You're the host in your backyard. You don't invite people over and then go off and take a nap, although, to be honest, I have been guilty of that. You talk to people, you introduce people to each other, like networking in a way. So think of it as a barbecue. You're right there. So you're there just to make sure that the drinks are flowing, the food is coming, and that people are meeting each other. They're comfortable and they're having a fun time because you're the host. And that's exactly how it is for a Facebook group. So Facebook groups are extremely valuable. They can have a huge impact when they're used in your marketing strategy. Businesses who center a group around their brand can build a community around it. This makes your brand and products even more valuable to the customers. What's better than getting a group of people together who love you and your products? So I'm going to give you a little example of an e-commerce business that I used to own. I ran this business, or I started it, I think 2009, and I sold it 2 years ago. And it grew really, really fast and massive on retail. So I decided I'd had a lot of requests for wholesale. So then that made the business grow super, super fast. And I wanted to give something really special to the wholesale customer, like the stockists, that the retailers didn't have. So I started a Facebook group just for the stockists, and they absolutely loved it. They felt important. They felt special. I would post in there probably only once a week. It wasn't like it was taking up loads of my time, but I would post tips of how to sell my products better, tips of how to doing display on a shelf or something, tips about how to share about what fair trade was all about, because I was manufacturing it all fair trade. When Nepal had their giant earthquakes and terrible things happen, I was posting in there, at least a few times a day and letting people know what was happening with the manufacturers and things, and sharing all that stuff so that then they could then share it with their customers, etc. So many of them then started their own little fundraisers within their shops and to help Nepal. And it was just amazing watching what went on. And that was all from this Facebook group, which was pretty damn special. Another example I want to talk about in terms of people getting together and doing lovely things, and this is from a voluntary perspective, not from a business perspective, but I run a group with my husband and a friend of ours called Bangalore Lionhearts, and basically it's just a group. The whole thing is run through a Facebook group, and I put shout outs letting people know what sort of food that we need, and then we feed people in need. So people cook meals, we have this deep freeze, and then people message and say, I've got a friend that needs some meals, she's just broken a leg, or this friend has just had a baby and her partner's away, or whatever. And then we just supply meals. My husband also grows all these vegetables so that people can use those vegetables in the cooking. So anyway, to cut a long story short, there was no website. There is now. I recently created one, but there was none. There's definitely no Facebook page or anything like that. There's just a Facebook group, and that's how the whole thing is run. We have about 400 people in there that are all volunteers. And so I put a shout out at the moment, for example, on the weekend, and I said, we need more vegan meals and more meat-based meals. And so sure enough, boom, 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 the comments start coming in with, yes, getting onto it, which is really, really wonderful. So what a beautiful way to be able to reach your community, to share. And in that one, for example, you're banned from posting any kind of promotional stuff. All it's for is for people to be helping each other. So a really lovely group to be part of as well. So think about the groups that you're in, and think about the group that you might want to have and start, and think about how you would make it different from other groups that you're in, what you like about some groups you're in, what you don't like about other groups, and yeah, how you want to do it. So groups also give you the chance to showcase your expertise and your dedication to your customers or clients, especially since many will be asking questions that are extremely visible to other group members. So in the Hello Media Facebook group, I love it when people ask questions, because you can be absolutely sure other people are asking those questions too, but just not openly. They're just doing it in their head. So often when somebody puts something in there, then others will go, oh, I've been wondering about that too. And then often me or one of my team members haven't even seen the question before other people have jumped in to share and help and answer. So it's just a really beautiful way of connecting with people, showing your expertise, etc. When I'm working with people on their lead magnets, I often say the first thing you should do is write a big giant long list, like as a spreadsheet or on an Airtable or something, and write it and have a list of all the different Facebook groups that you're in. Then take a look at them. What are the rules? What are you able to post in there? What are the days that you're allowed to do a promo about yourself, et cetera, et cetera. And then when you've created your lead magnet and your caption that's going to go with it, then jump into those Facebook groups and record where it is that you're sharing that kind of stuff. Sharing those posts, and see what happens. So some groups you'll get nothing from, other groups will be amazing for it. But also remember to be giving value by way of that lead magnet, not just trying to sell. That's a really important thing. So a lot of groups will be no self-promotion, but when you're offering something and by way of a lead magnet, that's a really, really beautiful way to be promoting your business without promoting your business, if you know what I mean. Okay, so by answering those kind of questions that are getting asked in there and encouraging and requesting feedback and generating networking opportunities, you can make valuable personal connections with your customers that will keep them coming back. I know within the Hello Media Facebook group, as well as the Positive Passionate Businesswomen, there's so many friendships that are being formed in those groups, which is really, really special. And one of the things that gives me so much joy is that Honey, who's one of my team members, she creates a lovely post. I think maybe it's weekly of, and in fact, it might be Merlin, I'm not quite sure, but one of the lovely team members creates a beautiful post of the new people that have joined the group and a welcome in there. And it's so lovely to see all the people that comment underneath and go, hey, welcome, so glad you're here, et cetera, et cetera. It's pretty special. So groups are so important for your business, particularly for the algorithm of Facebook. You've most likely noticed some significant changes over the last year and a half in what content is being distributed in the newsfeed, and both as a marketer and as a user. So the new algorithm lowered the reach of most business pages even further, but simultaneously it gave group postings more priority. And that's because Facebook's now all about fostering communities and relationships and showing users more of the content that they want to see. And most people join groups for a reason after all, and so then they engage with them enthusiastically. So for example, I'm in Thermomix cooking Facebook groups. I'm in like Facebook groups for wives of spinal cord injuries and carers, et cetera, et cetera. I'm in Facebook groups for digital marketers. Like, you have a think about groups that you're in for hobbies. I'm in plant lovers Facebook groups. So things that you're in for hobbies, things that you're in around your business, themes that you're in, groups that you're in for, like it might be medical things or something. One of my clients actually is, her business is the Plastic Surgery Hub. And so she runs a group there with thousands and thousands of people in it for anyone thinking about or experiencing or wanting to or something, anything to do with plastic surgery. Or we're going to try and ignore the crying of the puppy. And so, yeah, an amazing way for people that might need to, maybe they've had their breast removed or something and they want to get in there and just have the opportunity to chat with people that have gone through it as well. So anyway, think about the groups that you're in. Think about groups that you might like to go looking for and be part of, which will also help you think about the type of groups that you want to put out there for people. So Zuckerberg himself even said outright in mid-2018 that people want to hear more from family, friends, and groups. And that's precisely what they've given users ever since. So have a little look at the way groups have changed. So this one over here on the left is what the Facebook, the Hello Media Facebook group looked like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I think it all changed on September the 1st was the final lot of changing. And this one here on the right is what the Hello Media group looks like now. And I did that one where you can have a look at it, you know, as if you were a visitor, not just me in the back end. So you'll see it's quite a different look to it. And straight away you see the about up there on the top right, which you didn't see that before. But what I still like is that these topics in there, which make it a really easy way for people to search for your stuff. You can, you know, do rooms from it. You could do all kinds of things. And for me with the Hello Media Facebook group, I've always had it done the settings so that we have units. See up here called units on this one. It's probably a little further down. Oh no, there it is. It's over there this time. And in units, that's where all our recordings of webinars, even old webinars from a year ago, they're all sitting in there. So you can just look for a topic you want to know more about, jump on in and watch it. So really fantastic. Oh, she's having a cry. This is my first full day of puppy sitting today for my daughter who's just gone back to school. And my daughter's rule was do not pick her up if she's crying because it's going to teach her the wrong thing. So we're just going to try really hard to ignore that crying. Sorry, guys. Okay, so why do you need a group? So while your business page's reach has gone down exponentially, your business's group postings have a chance to rise to the top of your members' feeds. So by choosing groups correctly, you'll be able to more consistently get your content higher in the newsfeed than they have been in years. I'm just going to give Puppy a little treat. Stand by with the distractions. Let's see how that goes. There's one. There's two. Let's try for that. So I'll give you a little example of that. That means that if I put a post on Hello Media page, you're not going to get a notification that Kylie just posted on the Hello Media page. But when I put a post in the group, often as not, you will get a response and your notification about that. And it will tell you that there is a new post in the group. So even that alone shows you that you are being encouraged to have a group, and they just want to encourage you to do Facebook ads on your page. So we come back to the whole issue of I already have a page, why do I need a group? So this here is a screenshot of the Hello Media page. And you'll notice there we've got the video there as the cover image. Unfortunately, it's since the changes of the size. Oh, Joe said I just rewarded it. That's a good point. Clover's going to get cross with me. I thought I was doing a good job of ignoring it, but actually you're right. I gave it a treat. Oh dear, I'm really struggling with puppy time and being in the office, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, so what happened is they changed the size of the Facebook cover, but of course in those video making places, you can only do a square or a story or a YouTube size. So now it's not quite fitting. But anyway, I really loved my little pig video, so I'm not going to change it. So down here though, you'll notice that my call to action in the blue is visit group. So that could be all kinds of different things. You could have it, there's lots of things that you could change that to depending on what you want people to do. For me, I want them to come into the group because that's where lots of nice things are going on and hanging out. So that's what you see when you go there. So let's have a little look at the page. So you do need to have a page because that serves as a touch point for users at all stages of the customer journey funnel. Having a page allows you to get reviews, have plenty of public updates that include blog posts, user-generated content, and more. And also it allows you to run ad campaigns for your business. And your page will show up in search engines and it will provide valuable info like a map and a contact info for your business. And also users can message you directly. It's weird that I finished it with a comma. I'm not sure why. So let's have a little think about, or a little scenario of at the beginning of the year, I had a terrible situation happen with my car. And all of a sudden they took my reg off me. I was 4 months without a rego, which was unbelievable. And I just never had got my slip. Anyway, long story short, I tried for the next 10 days trying to find a mechanic that would do a blue slip and the whole big palaver that comes with it so I could go and get that car re-registered. And firstly, many of them didn't even have an answer phone, so the phones just rang out. And of course, it was, holiday time, so it was understandable they're not there, but no answer phone to tell me their dates of when they'd be back. I'd go to their Facebook page, and if they had one, they might have last posted in 2018. Then if they had a website, actually, I can't think of any that did, but I'm sure if there were some that did have a website, they're just not very updated. So, and certainly that's just not one industry that doesn't. Like, there are so many of them that just don't see the need to have it. But the problem is, for those of us that are looking, like majority of us now look online. So if we are not able to see anything that's recent or current, then we think they're just gone. So it was really, really challenging trying to find someone. In the end, one rang back, and I reckon I would have rung 17 of them. So pretty unbelievable. So now let's look at the group. So that's why it's so important to have a page, is so that people can see it. Anyone that's looking can see it, which is good. Also, if you don't have a website yet, when people are Googling your business or anything about it, then your Facebook page will come up there in a Google search, which is great. What about a group though? So the group though is so important because, as I said before, that's where you do all your lovely connecting and, you know, making a special time with this community that you've got going on. So there's lots of things that you can think about before you let people into your group. Firstly, there's one fantastic thing that Facebook gives you, which is the opportunity to have a questionnaire before you let people in. So a lot of people say, should I use a questionnaire to screen members? And my answer is absolutely yes, indeed. Because groups can decide if they want to require users to answer questions before they can be accepted for membership. And yes, always make sure that users fill out a few questions. After all, if someone's too lazy to answer the question, and I ask, for example, what's your email login for the subscription? Or how long have you been in the graphic design industry? They don't deserve to be part of the group. So even if you let them in, they won't be an active contributing member, which hurts the group in the long run because it inflates member numbers and engagement ratios look lower as a result. So make sure you're not just letting everybody come in just to make your numbers look big. I think on average, we'd be declining at least 5 to 10 people a week that are requesting to join, because if they're not bothering to answer it, we're not going to let them in. Or sometimes they'll answer one question, but not all of them. And so the questions, for example, with Hello Media, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but one of them is, can we please have your email address so that we can keep you up to date with things? So that's a given, because A, it's a great way to build your email database, but also if the group got shut down for any reason, we get no warning. So at least that way I'm able to email the members and say hi and see if they then want to join a new group or something. The second thing is, I want to know, with people coming in, what's their one area in digital marketing that they're struggling with? Because that really helps me to know what kind of things I would be posting about. Like if everybody was saying in a row for months on end, email marketing, email marketing, email marketing, that would tell me I needed to do more posts about emails and newsletters and building your database and all those kinds of things. So have a think about what questions that you could be asking so you can find out more about the people coming in. My very best top tip I can give you under the questionnaire topic is that make sure when people are answering those questions that you record that information straight away. So open up a spreadsheet or an Airtable or whatever you want to and record those answers. Because for quite a long time, I assumed those answers were being recorded somewhere in the group, and I wasn't even looking for it because I knew at some point I would need it later on. Well, I didn't, and they don't get recorded. There's nowhere that they're being stored. So if people have answered your questions and you haven't written it all down at that point, then it's too late, it's gone. So make sure that you definitely have a way that you're recording those answers. So some top tips of ways to increase activity in your Facebook group, because a lot of people have said just earlier, but also in many of my conversations with people about Facebook groups, that it's so incredibly hard getting people to engage. So part of keeping your group valuable is to maintain engagement and activity high within it. And there are several ways that you can encourage this and keep it at a consistent level. So some of the best ways to encourage activity and engagement include, number one, use loads of different types of media. This can make a big difference because no matter how great your posts are, they'll likely still have to compete with all the other posts in a user's feeds. So throw in some video and some pictures to increase visibility and engagement. Another one is ask for feedback. Make use of polls. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People love to give their opinions. And in a group setting, ask for feedback shows that you really care about the members' opinions. It also helps with that level of exclusivity. If only members get to weigh in on new features or panels at an event, who wouldn't want to be in that group? And creating polls is a fantastic way to do it, and it's visually appealing, so users are likely to pay attention to it. And you'll see the option to create a poll, just like you see the option to upload an image on a regular post within a group. My top tip for this topic is every Monday morning at 6 a.m. we've scheduled a post to go out into the group. There's no picture, there's no nothing, it's just a question. And it could be as simple as coffee, iced or hot, or it could be what was the first sport you ever did. I think our question today in Positive Passionate Businesswoman was what was your first job you ever did and how much did you get paid? And of course, straight away people start responding, but also it's good for so many reasons. Yes, of course, it's great for the algorithm, but it's great for me because I'm getting to learn about the people that are in the group, but I love then responding to those people. So make sure when you ask a question, you don't just leave it and they've answered and then you just don't even respond to it. Respond back, or even at the very least, give it a little emoji response there. So yeah, it's a beautiful way of really, really getting to know the people that are in your group. So it's time to create great content. Have a little think about this one. I do share this one a lot because I love it. You can buy attention, which is advertising. You can beg for attention from the media, which is PR. You can bug people one at a time to get attention, which is sales, or you can earn attention by creating something interesting and valuable and then publishing it online for free. The thing about that is you just know how to do it well. You need to know how to do it well. So I really love to specialize or talking with people, and I do specialize in organic content. So growing your accounts organically without spending all this money on Facebook ads, because the more you spend on Facebook ads, the more that Facebook will make you spend as well. It just gets higher and higher and higher and higher to see the same number of people. So if you're posting consistently in your group, on your pages, all of those different places, then more and more people will see it because you're getting more and more engagement. So organic ranking gives a business credibility and evergreen search results. So what that means is evergreen is over and over and over the same stuff. So what happens is that when you're doing it organically, not in ads, that content is sitting there on your newsfeed. So all the good stuff that happened even from a year ago is still worth something all this time later. So understand how your customers are looking for solutions online, and you need to be the solution to their problem. So it might be, if we think of somebody that has a clothing shop or something, and people are always posting about, what do you call them here? You know, the rubber things with the go between your toes. I call them jandals. Flip-flops, maybe you call them. Thongs, that's probably the other one. Okay, so if you think about that, a lot of people are talking about that over summer, and the fact that as you're walking along and they flip out and you broken that thing, and then what do? So, you know, not only could you then be talking about the great range that you stock, which doesn't really happen, but then you could do a cute little post about, hey, you know about those bread tags that you can put it in and put it underneath and then it stops it flicking through. I saw this great post about that a few years ago and I never, ever forgot it. It was so good. So share about those kind of things, because you're looking for what are people's problems. You want to be the solution to those problems, or sharing the solution to those problems. And one of the latest Facebook algorithm updates was all about prioritizing posts that generate more meaningful interactions. And more interactions means more organic reach. So if you think about those posts that I was saying that we do every Monday morning in all the different groups, is if you start off with putting a question out there, not only do people enjoy interacting and, you know, sharing their opinions, et cetera, but it is then seen by Facebook as meaningful interactions. And so, of course, they're going to show that to more people. So it's also all about engagement. So engagement is getting a like, getting a comment, and getting a tag from somebody. Now, of course, with the Facebook group, you can't share it out of the group, but people can certainly tag someone from within the group. They can also invite someone into the group, which of course then you've got to decide if you're letting them in or not, but it's a really wonderful way to get your group growing organically. So last year's Facebook algorithm change means that engagement now has more impact on reach than reach has on engagement, which means that Facebook will show your post to more people if they inspire and encourage users to interact with each other. In particular, content that gets people talking in the comments section will see a major boost to organic reach. So if you can do posts that are going to get them chatting away in the comments, then it's a really, really wonderful way for you to be growing your business. So Ask questions, ask for opinions, invite them to share their feelings or their opinions on a topic, and that's encouraging engagement. Facilitating shared conversations, and not only is this cool in real life, but it's cool on social too. So this is my last little tip on this topic, but what to do, how can you make sure that you get amazing high organic reach? Well, it's creating videos, because they get the best engagement. And most ideal is basic video that has text overlay, but also great scroll stopping pictures are also awesome. So think about this with video. It doesn't need to be that you've had to go out there and actually video something. It can be that when you're in Canva, you might just put some little stickers that move and do something that then gets downloaded as a video. It might be that you put, say, 3 or 4 pictures together, put some music with it, and boom, you've got a little video going on. So there's lots of ways of doing it in Canva and also in other places as well. So have a try, because it's fun. Also, there's apps that you can use on your phone. So the first thing is always start with relevant content. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that done is better than perfect. And videos shot on your iPhone actually outperform professional videos in stats. Number 2 is you must tell stories that your audience or your customer avatar wants to hear. So lead them through a process. You can't just say, buy my stuff, even though you could say that back in 2010. That is not the case anymore. You need to take them on a journey. They want to know who they would be buying from. They want to know all about what's going on behind the scenes. They want to know what, at the end of the day, people buy from people. So make sure that you are making it really clear what your business stands for, and what it is that you can do for people. And strive to create your best organic posts. So moving forward, these are the last little things to remember. Do more of what is working. Do less or tweak what is not working. Look at your Facebook personal profile and use it to connect with people. So if I was to go over to your personal profile, could I see what your business page was? Could I see that you had a group? Could I see your Instagram? Could I see anything else? Do I even know what kind of business or work that you do? So that even just that is a very minimal thing that you can do. That's a great place to start. The other thing is be doing a post every now and then about your business. It's not a Scotty pants kind of a thing. It's just letting people know that actually care about you, what it is that you're up to. So if you think about it, if you were catching up with people and a friend in person sense, people would say, oh, how's business going? Or, you know, what's different in your life or something, and you would be sharing that. So definitely feel comfortable to share a little bit about that in your personal profile as well. Look at the number of comments that you get in your personal profile compared to what you get on your business page, and have a little think about how you can use that, because of course Facebook encourages you to be doing that on your personal. So find ways to put business stuff in there. Also think about Facebook profile stories, as in like Instagram stories, but Facebook stories and on your personal profile. So do some stories in there. Try not to be spammy about business stuff, but people want to see what you're up to. Also, another thing to remember is that when you share from one platform to another platform, that ability to connect is gone. So if you're doing a post on Instagram and it's auto posting over to Facebook, that means you're not hanging out on Facebook. Plus, when you do it onto Facebook, anything that you do with the little sliders and all of that won't work when you've done a post going over to another platform. So keep that one in mind. So maybe just for stories, do them completely separately. And also fresh content on each stories if you're wanting to connect with people. Really, really important, because that's what's happening at the end of the day, is it's all about connections. So we have some stats here. The last stats that we're able to give you is from December 2020. There'll be no doubt more stats soon. They generally tend to be quarterly. So here we go. 71% of the overall Australian population have active social media accounts, which is 18 million people, which is unbelievable. 33% of Australians state they use social media when looking for information about a brand. 98% of Australians access social media via a mobile device. That is a lot. Australians spend an average of 1 hour, 47 minutes per day on social media. And this has been increasing slowly over the past 8 years. And Facebook's Australia's third highest traffic site after Google and YouTube. Shopify is ranked number 5. There you go. Australia's Facebook users are the 4th most ad clickers in the world, an average of 23 ad clicks per month versus the global average, which is 12. Pretty amazing stuff. And then there's one little note here to remember that if your fans are on Facebook, then you need to be on Facebook too. It is mind-blowing to me how many people jump on a discovery call with me, and one of the first things they say is, I hate Facebook. I don't use Facebook for my personally at all. I just can't stand it. And I'm like, tell me about your business. Where are the people that would be your ideal customers? And they're like, they're on Facebook. So if they're on Facebook, you also need to be on Facebook. So here are the top 5 most popular social media sites in Australia: YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Very soon it's going to say Clubhouse, because in March, apparently they're opening up Clubhouse to Android as well. And I am massively loving Clubhouse. So the sooner that you can all get there, the better. So each time you sit down to create a post, ask yourself, is what I'm about to post going to help, inspire, entertain, motivate, educate, or add value in some way? So here we go. In the Hello Media Facebook group, as soon as you get there, the first thing that you'll see is a pinned post, and that is the follow ladder. So it tells you to leave your Facebook page, a Facebook group if you have one, your Instagram account, and then you jump into the comments underneath and you can go and follow all of those people in there. And it is a beautiful way to grow your account organically and to show that you're caring about other people too. So going forward, get stuck into creating engaging organic posts today. Get stuck into your Facebook group. If you have one already, but you haven't been doing it, then I hope you've got some tips today that you can go away and get started with. And if you have not got one, then are you actually going to go and create a Facebook group? Because you can create a Facebook group and start preparing it even before you've invited people into it. So the question is, will you? I would love you to jump into the chat right now and let me know what is there from today that's been your aha moment. What is there that you're going to be able to take away and actually put into action, or something that you've just learned that you didn't know about before? Now, Jane says, how do you refer to your page on your personal Facebook profile? Is there a specific place where you can add that info? Yes, Jane, go to the About section and you will be able to add your different links in there like that. Yay, Jo, she says she plans to start one. I think that's a wonderful thing. I'm very excited about that. And Jane says to go and make my group private. Good idea. Very good idea. Charmaine, keep a spreadsheet of email addresses. Good. And then, of course, you can upload them into your email platform program. So if your stories are all about your products and services, that's not storytelling. It's a brochure. Give yourself permission to make the story bigger. It's all about sharing stories. And I don't mean stories about, you know, how many kids you have or what you ate for dinner or anything. The stories are about why you do what you do that's different. Brenda says, need to create a Facebook group. Yes, Brenda. And Terry, make mine private. Is it good to have overseas members? Absolutely, because then they're learning from you and as you go along. So I think with your business, Jane, that you've got a lot of opportunities of things that you can do, like in webinars, etc. It doesn't even need to be organizing in people's homes. You can be giving so many tips online to people. So you can be getting those people joining you from wherever. And there's opportunities to monetize your group later on. You might want to turn it into a membership type group, etc. Lots of options there. So show the world what you stand for. Be more purpose-driven, more human, more imperfect, and more real. So on that note, we have a new masterclass. It's 3 days. It's coming up. And it's called Grow Your Website. So if you don't have a website, this is the perfect one for you. If you already have one, but you need to overhaul it, this is the perfect one for you. It's for either Shopify, if you're selling something, or if you just want a standalone site that's more like a brochure with information, then Wix is the one for you. So those are the 2 platforms that we're doing in this course. And yeah, we can tell you more about that if you can just put the link into the chat, please, Melon, with that link to all about grow your website over 3 days. Jackie says, when you say you can't share posts of a group, do you mean it's not possible, or you shouldn't? No, you can't. If it's a private group, you can't share outside of the private group. So next week, there's been a little change actually. We just had a team meeting before this session, and it says that next week's digital marketing webinar is all about Clubhouse. But that is not true. The week after is all about Clubhouse. Next week is all about Instagram stories, because there's some really new and really exciting stuff to tell you guys about, as well as very exciting to be able to tell you about how you can post stories from your desktop, which is really cool. So, so if you wanted to register for that now, just hold up your phone with the camera open and scan it, or just hover it over that digital marketing QR code right there, or else it will be in the chat shortly that you can register for that. The next one is on Friday, Bite-Sized Conversations, webinar and podcast. And that's with Jenny this Friday morning coming up, if you want to register for that one. And then the last little thing is social media is the great equalizer. It gives a voice and a platform to anyone ready to put in the time and engage. So this is how you can connect with me in my Facebook group, which is called Hello Media. And you'll see that coming into the chat just any moment now. Also, you can always find out more on my website, on the Facebook page, on Instagram. Of course, there's always LinkedIn and Pinterest and Twitter and Google My Business and all the other places as well. Or you can go straight ahead and book a discovery call, which is 30 minutes on Zoom with me for free, just chatting about whatever it is that you'd like to know more about and where you need help with in your business. So that's it today. I'm going to stop my screen share and I will open it up to anyone that has a question. And before we do that, let's have a photo. Who wants to turn their, we've got someone in the waiting room. She might have just missed that. Sorry if you're waiting for a while. Okay, yay, Joe's getting ready. Let's go. Guess countdown from 3. Cameras on. 3, 2, 1. Yay, thanks. You know I do love a photo. So guys, any questions? I feel that that's no questions, but don't be shy if you sort of have one, but you're awkward about asking it. Okay, then hands up if you're going to go away and start a Facebook group. Yes, Joe. Brenda's not sure, but she thinks so. Jackie has to, because the beautiful thing about if you're a product-based business, it doesn't, Jackie Moore I'm talking about, because it doesn't need to be about you selling. So Jackie, for those of you that don't know, has Jack's Dolls Direct, all about Barbie dolls. So Jackie could have a business, Facebook group. Look at that one. Oh my word. Called Barbie Enthusiasts. So then she gets all these people in that love Barbies. She can facilitate lots of conversations. People can chat. Then every now and then Jackie can do a wonderful post like, oh my goodness, guys, you won't believe what I've managed to get my hands on. I've only got 3 of them. Who wants one? You know, and it's a beautiful way to get that happening, but that's not something you'd be doing every day, because what it's for is about connecting and sharing with people that have similar interests as you. So Julie says not sure about the group yet. So Julie, for example, Julie has a business called Helmet Brims, and she makes an incredible product. So for horse riders that are constantly getting sunburned because they're out in the elements, and Julie sells all over the world. So there's, obviously you wear a riding helmet. So Julie makes a brim that's detachable, and it can go on any helmet and any brand of helmet, but also for any age of human, from little people right up to adults. It's all the same helmet brim, sorry. So for Julie, you could either do a Facebook group for just horse lovers in general, or just one type of people that love horses, or it could be for people that wear a helmet brim. And so then it's an exclusive group that you join. And Julie, I already know you have customers from all over the place that have shared amazing reviews. So imagine inviting them all to be part of a group where they can talk about where they ride and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, yeah, a really lovely way to be sharing with people. So does anybody have questions about or thinking, what would I do with a group? I don't know how I could use a group in my business. Well, that's great. That tells me everybody's ready for a group. I'm stoked. So feel free to invite me into your group, and we could look here. How many of us are there? There's at least 20 of us in this group right now. Invite us in, and then you've got your first 20 people just like that, showing you some love and support. Yes, Jackie Moore.
My only thing is finding the time to put different content on the group page, as well as all the other social media pages, because it would be completely different, wouldn't it, obviously, from what you said?
Yes, so try for once a week. And if every Monday you schedule a question, so for example, I've written probably 30 questions like on a spreadsheet, and then you just schedule them all, because you just go into the Facebook group and schedule them in there. So every Monday, 6 a.m., there's 30 weeks of content going out. And then if one other day of the week you were putting a graphic or a video or something, then that's 2 posts a week. And then another day of the week, it could be just randomly, like there's that beautiful mermaid Barbie doll that you've got. You can do a picture or whatever and put that into the group and go, check out what I just got my hands on. So, you know, it can be a bit more organically and sporadic that you're putting things in Facebook groups.
And less sort of crafted, more just sort of organic, as you just said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like a question rather than pictures. And I tend to write a lot with my posts, probably too much. So it could be a lot less of that. Thank you.
You could do more of the writing in the groups and less of it on the page, for example.
Yeah,
because in the group,
that's
you're more
true.
likely to be seeing it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
April said she's just joined the call. Will there be a recording? Yes. So we were just talking about that, because in the Hello Media Facebook group, we have a unit section in there, and all of the digital marketing webinars, and also last year's Canva webinars, they're all sitting in there in the unit section, as well as lots of other things like resources and my favorite tools for this and that, and books or all kinds, anything you want to find, you can find it in that unit section. We're also putting the digital webinars this year up onto YouTube too. So you can find them on the Hello Media YouTube channel. Yes, Sherry.
So with the group, so it goes profile or to your group, and then are we leading them from there to your business page?
No, because they've got to find your group. So usually what would happen is that you're encouraging them in your page, your business page, to join your group, or through your newsletters, you're telling them about your group. Through Instagram, you can tell them about your group. Through anywhere, you can be telling them about your group.
Okay.
Yeah. Jane says, I'm going to tweak my group. That's great, Jane. What are you going to do with it? What's going to be different? She may not be able to unmute.
Yeah,
right,
sorry,
guys.
I was looking for invites and stuff. So much. I've written lots down to do.
Good.
Heaps. I'm going to do heaps. Just
That's great. If one thing you take away, that is to set up your questionnaire and get their email address to come into the group. Because without their email address, you have no other way of getting in touch with them. And I know people, in fact, the lady I was telling you about before with the Plastic Surgery Hub, her first Facebook group, I'm sure it was over 12,000 people, got shut down because one too many nipples. And of course, we all know Facebook's view on that. In fact, I saw a very funny post this morning where a man had posted a picture of his cat, and it had the cat's nipples, but the cat was a male. And he wrote, you know full well if this was a female cat, that'd be off Facebook in a flash, reported, but it was a man's nipple, so it was all right. So it's a funny world that we live in, isn't it? So, and of course, plastic surgery and reconstructive surgery and all that, it shouldn't be hidden. And I know somebody in New Zealand who had a wonderful business, like honestly amazing. She had designed nipple tattoos. So she was working with women that had their breasts removed. And then apparently when you get reconstructive surgery, often there is no nipple. So she'd made these amazing tattoos that, you know, like a stick-on tattoo, but she did it for the women before they had their surgery and had them removed. So they were literally their own nipples being tattooed back on. What a beautiful and special gift is that for people. And she got shut down because that was too much nipple talk, which is, even though there wasn't actually a nipple ever being shown, it was a nipple tattoo. But there you go. You just never know what's going to go on with Facebook, do you? So always the ideal thing to do is to be collecting email addresses wherever and whenever you can. So make sure you do that. Leanne says, out with the old one and going to bring in a brand new group that is more my brand. Good on you, Leanne. Very much about you and your expertise in the area, and then your products just back up your expertise. So that's fantastic. And Maureen says, I'm going to add my weekly webinar recordings to my group. I think it's such a great thing to do, Maureen. I know a lot of people don't, because they feel that if you don't turn up to the webinar, that you can't see the recording, and that's it, that's too bad. But I'm a big believer in, you may not have needed to learn about Facebook groups today, because you're trying to get your head around even just starting a business. But then in 3 months' time, you're ready to start thinking about Facebook groups, so you can jump into the Facebook group and watch it. You know, I'm more about giving and not being so rules something or other. Yeah. So if you want to share, guys, put your group into the chat. And for those of you that don't know how, go down to the chat now and click on the 3 dots on the right hand side and click on save chat. And that way you get to save everybody's information, and you can go away and connect with everybody on Facebook. You can befriend them, you can follow them on their page and on their Instagram, you can join their group, and you can check out their website and see what they offer. So guys, it's been lovely and fabulous to see you all again today. I'll see you at the same place, same time next week to talk about Instagram stories and all the very cool new things that are happening on there. So I look forward to it, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. See you guys. Thanks for joining me. Bye.